Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
This episode is brought to you by KPMG. At KPMG, innovation is the go-to state of mind. Their visionary thinkers and advanced technology help you see beyond the now, uncover new insights, and turn them into opportunities. KPMG can help you leverage the value of data and drive transformational outcomes through innovation. To explore their thinking, go to kpmg.us.
I tried to fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Welcome to a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty, we are here today for Season 1, Episode 11.
King of the Anthill.
King of the Anthill. This one shows off Hank's love for his yard.
Yep, and
kind of taps into that whole Texas, I'm proud of my yard, I'm the best thing on the block kind of thing. The keep lawns beautiful, all that stuff.
And oddly enough, this episode debuted on your birthday.
Really?
Yes, May 4th, 1997.
Wow. Well, there you go. I think that that's proven that it's great. I don't know. Opening, no pre-open, no anything like that. We go straight into the credits. No bell, no yell. I don't believe.
No, I didn't hear any bell.
No bell, no yell. So we get in there, and first thing we see is Hank is out on his riding lawnmower, the same one that ran into his truck.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that Hank is really obsessed with his lawn.
Scientific.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Because he starts measuring the grass as he cuts it on either side of the mower.
Yeah.
One side is 2 1/8, and the other side is 2 1/16, and so he needs to let a little air out of one of the tires.
Yeah, you got to lower the ride height on there.
That's right. Yeah, and that's pretty specific. I mean,
the lever only does so much.
That's what I'm saying.
So
yeah.
if you got a little too much air in one tire or not enough in the other,
I guess you're a little lifted on one side.
Yeah,
it's an eighth of an inch, though, man.
Yeah, well,
All right, so
to have the best lawn in Arlen or Texas,
right.
you got to.
So we get
do
Bill.
what it takes.
We get Bill wandering up, and he's asking Hank if he's getting his lawn ready for Cinco de Mayo.
And then he tells him, "My lawn is in a constant state of readiness." Yeah.
Yeah, the block party's just an opportunity to roll her out and see what she can do.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that means with grass, but sure. Then we get Con rolling up with Doggy. He's out for a walk.
This is, I guess this is the second episode.
Yeah,
with Con.
I think it's the second one that's got Con in it.
Okay.
Yeah, but he says, "Well, Hank, if you're gonna let your lawn go to hell, can I just let Doggy go?"
Doggy make on it. Yeah,
that's right. And Hank does not take that well.
Nope. You don't like it.
If you got something to say, just say it. And Con says, well, I don't want to be the one to point out the low density patches over there. So let me tell you about my yard, Rusty.
Okay. Oh, you're a lawn guy.
No, I'm not a lawn guy.
Okay.
And by this story, you will be able to tell that. I hate mowing the yard. Have always hated it. Used to break the mower on purpose at my dad's house because that way you couldn't mow.
Yeah, he can't mow with a broken mower.
The thing is, he would go out and fix it, and then I would have to mow. So, but my yard at my house is in an area that is besieged with construction. So they're building all these different houses and all these different developments and stuff out there where I'm at, and the runoff has caused half of my front yard to die.
Oh, wow. Drowned it out.
It drowns it out. Yeah. It's so basically, if you look at my front yard, you go up about halfway, and then it's just dirt the rest of the way up. Yeah, that's right. It's just dirt the rest of the way up. So I am not a lawn guy.
Not a lawn guy. Okay.
So if anybody out there wants to roll some new sod out at my place, I will get out of your way and let you. So Dale shows up, and Dale is like, listen here, Con, if anybody's bringing down property values, it's me.
Yeah, it's
not
me.
you.
Yeah.
That's right.
My lawn's nothing but ragweed and auto parts.
That's right. Yeah, I love that quote. Ragweed and auto parts. And then Con, of course, no, my yard's better, that kind of thing. Bill is kind of helping Hank. Don't worry, we might be able to tell that Con's lawn's better, but, those other people, block party, they won't.
They'll be drunk.
They'll be drunk. That's right.
Oh, and then here we go. We got another problem where Hank has to eat feelings again.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he goes, damn, I've poured my whole life into this lawn, my heart, my soul, the tender feelings I've held back from my family.
Held back from my family, yeah.
And then he grabs two different pieces of soil, one from his and then one from Con's, and he looks at them, and then he goes to switch them. And Bill tells him, go ahead.
He said, you don't want to win that way.
Yeah, you don't want to win that way.
Just switch those back and go in and hug your wife.
Yeah.
So now we go inside, and we've got Peggy on the phone with her impeccable Spanish.
Oh, it's really funny here, yeah.
She's, Bethany, it does not matter if your avocados are hard. Life is hard.
Yeah.
You cannot make authentic guacamole out of lima beans and Ritz crackers.
Yeah.
And then she says, oh, these people, gringos. Like, she's not a gringo.
These gringos.
Yeah. Luann is very happy that Peggy is in charge of the block party for Cinco de Mayo. Because last year it was more
all
Tex than Mex.
And no
That's
mix.
Right. Yeah. Hank is still fixated on the lawn thing. He doesn't know why everybody's so gaga over Con's lawn. The man grows with grain, for God's sakes.
Yeah, he mows with the grain.
He mows with the grain. That's right. And I love Peggy's, like, Peggy is just like fed up with it at this point. She's just like, oh yeah, he's a devil. And then she just keeps talking about whatever she's talking about. Yeah. She wants Hank to let Boomhauer know that Swiss cheese is not Mexican. It is American. And she wants him to bring some Monterey Jack. That's right. He is, he's very concerned about his lawn. He's the block captain, and he wants to have the best lawn for Cinco de Mayo. But look at her. She's like a pretty girl with short hair.
Yeah.
And so now we're back outside, and the boys are all standing around, and here comes Dale. He's asking Hank if he can go ahead and spray his lawn again. Hank is kind of down with this plan. We find out that he's been letting Dale spray his yard twice a week.
Oh, wow.
Number one, which is a lot of spray.
That's a lot of spray, killing his yard.
And then Dale, he launches into this thing about how he lost another client because they say he uses too many chemicals. Well, I say Sarah Lee uses more chemicals than I do.
Oh, on this part right here, he goes, I need to make up the income.
That's the part.
I'll do it for free.
That's what I don't understand. I need to make up the income. I'll do it for free. So he goes and grabs his stuff. And then Peggy's like, well, maybe that's what's wrong with your yard. Maybe Dale's spraying too much poison on it. And Hank, a good God-fearing American, believes that petrochemicals are the future and the way you do everything. And so, no, he's always sprayed his yard. And we find out that he pays him $2 a week.
$2 a week. If I can give some business to my friend and keep my lawn bug free, it's worth $2 a week.
$2 a week. So then Dale is back, and he's got all his stuff, and he's ready to spray. Turn your cuffs down, boys, and make sure you're zipped. And then he starts spraying.
Yeah.
You don't want any dangles, I guess, while you're spraying petrochemicals.
No, you definitely don't.
Yard. And he's ready to spray. Hank then starts eating at him, what Peggy's saying about maybe it's the chemicals.
Yeah.
And so he says, Dale, I'm gonna take a rain check. And Dale's upset because he was gonna spray for fire ants today.
Yeah, he was all ready. And then he says, I'll give it a pass or whatever. And then Dale looks back and points at the Bugabago and says, you risk getting a queen. Look at her. She can lay 1 million eggs in a 24-hour time period.
And then one of my favorites is Bill. Wow, that's more than a human woman does in a lifetime.
Yeah, Bill.
24 million eggs.
Yeah, old Bill.
Yeah, and so Dale also tells us that that's how they killed L. Ron Hubbard, is with fire ants.
Yeah, with fire ants.
Which I'm not sure is true. And Hank has to correct him with telling him how, and I believe this is true, that fire ants don't all sting at once. Some of them bite, some of them sting out of defense and things like that.
Yeah.
And Dale's like, well, that's not true. And then the boys start backing him up, especially Boomhauer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, man, Hank's man. He knows, dang old Hank's man. And
Dang
so
Hank's the man.
we see the dynamic there, that Hank is definitely the authority figure out of all four of them, even though it's always crazy to me because even though Boomhauer, we find out, is like a state trooper at some point.
Kind of
he's never the authority.
No, he's never.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it's funny too here because he says Hank is more believable. I side with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes on about his professional career. He goes, what are you guys listening to Hank for? I've dedicated my professional career to the study and control of arthropods. I have personally taste tested each and every household insecticide.
Taste tested.
I have read a book.
I have read a book.
Hank's more believable.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about Dale is that like Dale is almost like immortal.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like sometimes. And I watched this video
as far as
on
the chemicals
YouTube.
And stuff goes.
Yeah.
And he never wears a mask.
Never wears a mask. Always smoking a cigarette, and it always has like a flammable sticker. But there was a video I watched on YouTube, and the video talked about the different power levels of each character, and they break each character down, and all it does is talk about the strengths of each character, and it's almost like comic book like how they approach it. So like they I'll have to send them to you. But the one I particularly watched was about Dale, and the whole time it's talking about why Dale is almost an immortal figure, and how crazy and like. There was one point where in the previous episode, where we talked about how he said, I almost reached Zen. And the guy goes, well, Buddhists spend their entire life trying to reach this, inner peace. And Dale was able to achieve it in just such a short time with all of the problems of the world still on him kind of thing. It was a really good video. It's really funny.
Yeah, I'd love to watch that. So we get into this thing where they kind of argue back and forth because Hank has decided he doesn't want chemicals sprayed on his yard anymore, and Dale is pleading his case. Dale's like, I'm your exterminator. Hank's like, you were my exterminator. Now we're just friends.
Yeah.
He takes him aside and says, Hank, please don't do this in front of everybody. And then he pretends to spray Hank's lawn anyway and tells him to keep the dog in the house for an hour. Yeah, he's just over there going, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, but you missed a good joke there. So he goes, you got another exterminator? Is he licensed? Is he bonded? Is that it? Do you want someone who's licensed and bonded?
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Yeah, because you think he's asking if you want those things. And then he's like, do I need those things? So now Hank and Peggy are taking a trip to Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
And they're looking around. Hank is eyeballing a hoe. And it's the funniest thing because I can remember my dad and my grandfather doing this same kind of thing with like 2x4s and stuff. You pick it up and you stare down the end of it to see if it's straight or if it's warped or whatever. And he asked Peggy, he says, does this say Hank Hill?
That's what
like a hoe is going to represent him. And the goofy throwaway joke is Peggy just saying, why are men so attracted to hoes? And then comes the moment. Hank spots the grass. It's Raleigh St. Augustine.
St. Augustine.
To hell with the fertilizer and seed. He just wants to roll out this sod, right?
Yeah, it's $1.25 a square foot.
$1.25 a square foot, which to be honest with you, right now I'd pay that to fill up my dirt hole.
Yeah.
That's what I got in trouble for in school, is filling up my dirt hole. Hank launches into how this lawn really represents him, Texas, America,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. He said that some people hoist the flag. He said, "My lawn is my flag."
right.
Tells the
Right.
world here lives a competent, trustworthy salesman of propane and propane accessories.
And then he says, without it, I'm just Bill.
Yeah, you
Peggy,
want to be
wanna
married to Bill?
That's right.
And then she shudders.
She just
yeah.
shudders. Yeah.
She gives a bah.
And so next we pick up, Hank has installed the Rally St. Augustine, and Peggy is like, mister, you just installed the finest lawn in the block. And Hank's, Peggy, I didn't do it for me. I did it for Arlen. He installed a yard, and he thinks of it as like he did it for his country. He did it for his state. He did it for his city.
He did it for everybody, not for him.
No, he didn't do it for him. Okay, here's one of the things that bugs me. Okay, and normally I let Normally I let things go. But Luann then decides she's going to start rolling in the grass. I don't like how she rolls one way and then rolls back the other way, because it's just rewinding the same animation. You can tell whenever she rolls.
Oh yeah,
there's like this second.
It's like a
and then
teeter
she just-
totter.
She just goes right back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stupid. It's no big deal. But yeah, she's
No, I know what
rolling.
you're talking about, yeah.
She's rolling around in the yard, and she thinks it feels so good. Hank's like, yeah, it's a lawn. It's meant to be enjoyed. But when she does get up, he sprays it down with the water hose because she'd been laying in it.
Yeah.
And then you find out that she just wants to roll in the grass because she's over in Con's lawn rolling around.
Yeah, she starts rolling his yard. Yeah.
Yeah, he's yelling
He
about
comes
it.
running out.
Yeah. So Dale congratulates him on the new yard, says it feels like shag carpet with dirt. And what we don't realize is that Dale is at that time releasing fire ants into this new yard.
Yes, he is.
I like how they're all coming down the leg of his pants, and then he goes, ouch. Like,
Yeah, he got bit.
one
Yeah, he
of
definitely
them-
got bit.
Yeah, one of them bit him while he did it. Next thing we see is Con is pissed off because somebody stole his TV guide out of his mailbox. He said, is it Bill? Oh, no, wait, Bill can't read.
Bill can't read.
And then Hank's out in his yard. He's got no shoes on. He's feeling out the yard, and he's like, oh, Con, I'm just out here, letting my feet air out. And Con's like,
Yeah,
oh, hillbilly barefoot.
barefoot.
Big surprise.
Big surprise.
So he just keeps walking around on what he's calling his lush, super plush new lawn. And Con is like, oh, yeah, I see. It's Rally St. Augustine, very expensive. He's like, oh, yeah, it's best lawn in Ireland, all that. And Con is pissed off because he's like, Con has to have the best of everything.
Yeah, it has to have everything the best
And
for
so
sure.
he's like, yeah, all right, you win. Best lawn tomorrow. Maybe we compare
Compare
salaries.
salaries,
And then
yeah.
he goes inside and he says, Con Jr., get the fertilizer. Men, get my tax return.
Yeah.
So Hank then looks down. He sees a hose in the yard. And he's like, oh, I don't want to get a hose imprint. Picks it up, and he's about to roll it up and finds a fire ant on his new yard.
Yep, gets stung by it.
Yeah. I don't know what your relationship to fire ants is, but here in Texas, they're a big deal.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, they pop up almost instantly.
Yeah, they're
Especially
bad.
after it rains.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
my
bad.
Lord. Yeah, and my dirt pile has lots of them. I could certainly relate to this whole fire ant thing.
Yeah, I can too.
I remember
Fire ants suck.
I buy this ortho stuff that comes in a plastic bottle, and it smells like rotten eggs. But you go out there and you just a little bit, and boy, they're gone.
Gone.
I mean, it kills them. I'm sure that I'm draining life out of the planet for future generations, but boy, those fire ants are gone.
Those fire ants are gone.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So next we see Hank and Peggy. They are using a new fire ant system.
It's called EcoKill.
That's right, and it's called EcoKill because
It's like ecologically safe.
It's ecologically safe
The
because-
government wouldn't let you use the word eco
that's right.
unless it was ecologically
right.
safe.
Hank's not so sure, because it comes with a bag of flies.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you ship that and not have a bunch of dead flies. But
Yeah, I'm not
that's
sure.
whatever.
Well, they do because I grow a garden,
Yeah.
and you could buy ladybugs online for
Oh
aphids.
yeah, sure.
It's kind of weird how they send them,
Yeah.
but they ship them to you and everything.
Well, I think you can buy a lot of. That other podcast that I do about comic books, we were reading some of the ads from the back
Bros
of the
for
comic
Hoes?
books. Yeah, Bros, Foes, and Heroes.
Yeah, Bros, Foes, and Heroes.
And
Y'all check that one out too.
There's a bunch of ads in there for like, send away for your live mouse or your live turtle or whatever. I just can't imagine how many animals died in the mail. From comic book kids.
Comic book kids.
I sent in my
animals.
quarter. I want a turtle.
Well, imagine being on the other end of that. Like you're a
you got to ship out
7-year-old
turtles.
and you get it. No, I'm talking about you're a 7-year-old and you get a dead turtle in the mail.
That's true. Yeah.
That experience is going to be traumatic.
I'm sure there were quite a few dead things that showed up at people's houses. So Peggy's explaining this eco kill to Hank, and what ends up happening is there's Ford flies in there. Those are the flies we're talking about. The Ford flies inject their eggs into the fire ant's head.
Oh, wow.
And then the egg hatches into a maggot, which eats away at the ant's brain until the head falls off. Repeat is necessary. Repeat is necessary.
Okay.
Hank says he likes it, and this is what those environmentalists should be spending their time on, finding ways to use nature against other forms of nature that are inconvenient to man.
This is where we see leftist tendencies in Hank again.
Sure.
Yeah, ecologically friendly.
That's right. Now we go over to the side, and we've got Bobby and Joseph, and they're doing the classic. They got the magnifying glass out, and they're looking at ants.
Yeah.
What they don't realize is they keep burning them up, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why Bobby couldn't catch on to this because it kept happening. They're talking about the eco kill, and Joseph's just the creepiest little kid. Like he goes, "Yeah, we can collect the heads and play with them later."
Yeah, like ant heads.
Ant heads.
Yeah, specifically, that's weird.
A very small thing to play with.
Very small.
And Bobby's like, "Oh, what a terrible way to die." Oops, and he burns another one. He just keeps burning these things. Joseph is very excited about this stuff. Bobby says he loves the little chubby white one.
Yeah, and then he goes, "It reminds me of me before my growth spurt." And then I guess Joseph, being Dale's son, knows what bugs look like. So he goes, "That's the Queen, stupid. It looks just like the one on my dad's truck." And then this is funny here because
very funny.
this is the only time you ever hear Bobby say anything. But there's a little bit of trivia behind this too. So in this episode, it seems like Dale knows that that Dale isn't Joseph's dad.
Yeah.
And there's only in a later episode, I don't know exactly what episode it is, but Nancy starts listing off everybody that knows about her affair.
Right.
And then at the very end of it, she says, "And maybe Bobby." So they do eventually bring that back up in the trivia or whatever.
So he says, "It looks like the one on my dad's truck," and Bobby says, "You mean Dale Gribble's truck?"
Yeah.
Joseph's like, "Oh, yeah, my dad."
Yeah, my dad.
Yeah.
Looking to start a business? You'll need a registered agent to receive legal notices and documents on your behalf. Look no further than Universal Registered Agents. Our team of professionals will ensure you never miss an important document, and we can even help you form your business with services like entity formation and document filing. Plus, we'll help you switch to our service for a lower cost and pay the change fees. Trust Universal Registered Agents to help your business succeed. Contact us today to learn more.
From the host of the popular podcast, The Only One in the Room, Stash by Laura Cathcart Robbins is a propulsive and vivid memoir about the journey to sobriety and self-love amidst addiction, privilege, racism, and self-sabotage. Best-selling author Holly Whitaker calls it an irresistibly delicious story, and MacArthur Foundation fellow and best-selling author Kiese Lehman says Stash is emotionally riveting. Buy Stash by Laura Cathcart Robbins now, wherever books are sold.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy, available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Watch us fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas.
The Queen is cool. She lets out smells that make the other ants do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
And this is where Bobby has some issues. He starts gathering up the ants, and he's going to take some inside and keep them safe and play with them and watch them and all that stuff.
Yeah, whatever his intent is.
Yeah. And then we've got Dale kind of rubbing it in Hank's face that he's starting to get these anthills in his yard.
Mm-hmm. And these are prominent anthills.
They are a lot of
I've seen a lot of anthills, but I've never seen anthills that big.
Well, this is
front yard.
This is like one huge anthill,
Yeah.
and Dale is like, ha ha ha. Well. Looks like they played you like a damn fiddle, all that. And Hank, this is kind of un-Hank to me. He says, the Opry's not over. Okay, ants, put your heads between your 6 legs, kiss your butts goodbye.
Yeah.
But all he's doing is running over it with his lawnmower.
That's it.
And I mean, that's going to spread it every single time. I mean, you go kick those anthills, you just get 7 anthills.
Yeah.
The
old man used to pour diesel down them.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that was the old technique.
Did he set them on fire or just pour the gas?
Diesel or kerosene or something. I think that was the old country.
Old motor oil.
Country
like
remedy.
That. Sure. Yeah. That didn't do anything to the earth.
Not at all.
All right. Next morning, Hank's up. He's going to get his paper out. I think this is one of the funniest lines. He comes out and he reads the headline and says, "Celebration of local graffiti artist. I'll give you a headline. Local man cancels newspaper subscription." It's just so funny because it's like, that's what my dad and my grandfather would have said. Then we realize with Hank what's happening here. When Con says, "Ha, you got a permit for all that construction?" and you see Hank's yard, and it is just nothing but anthills at this point.
Yeah, nothing but anthills.
And so that's why I say it's so anti-Hank. You would think he would know that he's just going to spread all that stuff.
I got a bit of trivia here, too.
Yeah, please.
So they say that in this episode that the ants have destroyed the yard.
Yeah.
Is what they're thinking. So,
Right.
But actually ants don't really cause any damage to St. Augustine grass. So it would be a bug called the chinch bug. CHINCH, chinch bug, sorry.
Bug, yeah.
And they said that would more likely be the culprit because ants, they don't.
Ants
They
just
don't
build
do that.
hills.
They just build hills.
They just build hills and they build bigger hills.
That's it.
That's all they do. And then of course they sting people.
Yeah.
And again, if you're listening from outside of Texas or whatever, and you don't know what a fire ant is, just look them up. They are extremely painful. They leave little blisters.
I wonder if they're just in warmer climates.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
that's
know
what I'm
either.
saying. I mean, if you're up north or something and you're listening to this,
Not an antologist.
Congratulations. But if you're listening to an antologist, but if you're listening to this, look up fire ants. They are a scourge. So
fun.
one of my favorite parts is we get Dooley.
Yeah.
For
Dooley.
some reason, Dooley walks up to Hank at his front door and just goes, "You got ants." And
Yeah, well, it's the
it's like
the whole
entire
neighborhood's
neighborhood,
out
yeah.
there looking at it
But
because
I
it's
mean,
just destroyed.
Dooley is so brash. Dooley is so brash that he just walks right up to Hank's front door and just says it right to his face.
Yeah, he
which
does.
is
That's crazy.
nuts.
Yeah. No,
All right.
especially just being like some little shithead
He is
teenager in
just
the
a-
neighborhood.
he's just a punk.
He's got like
Yeah.
it's like that's the grunge era. He's like the little grunge kid. He's got like
Yeah.
he always has like the
What's
the
funny to
flannel
me
kind of
is he
shirt or
has a
whatever it is,
flannel
or-
on, but it's always like short sleeve.
Yeah,
Like he's almost grunge, but not really.
not grunge
You
enough.
know? Yeah. You got ants.
He's just edgy.
Yeah, he's definitely edgy, especially for Arlen. He's not the Satan suck crowd, but he's getting there.
Yeah, he's not far from it.
So we go back in and we see Bobby, and Bobby is now sniffing the ants and taking in the queen's scent, and he is under the spell of the queen ant.
Yes, my queen.
Yes,
yeah,
my queen. He's doing whatever the queen is asking him to do.
absolutely.
We go back outside, and now we've got the boys talking about the big Cinco de Mayo block party. Bill, he's worried because he's only got half a tank of propane left, and Peggy wants him to barbecue. He says, maybe I can just top it off with some lighter fluid or something. Hank has a fit.
A huge
like,
fit.
"Oh
You
my
don't
God."
want to be mixing and matching your petrochemical. The
That's
Propane
right.
Association recommends it. It'll be fine.
And this is the turn here when Dale says, "It'll be fine, Bill. Burn is
Yeah.
burn." And now
Burn is
all of a
burn.
sudden, the boys are listening to Dale rather than listening to Hank. And Hank is Hank's a little put out.
Yeah.
He's a little put out.
Yeah, he is.
So he says,
Propane
"No,
is know what I know best.
propane is what I know best." And then Dale's like, "It sure ain't lawns." Boomhauer. Yeah, man, sure right about that, man. Ain't it? So Hank takes Dale aside and says, "Listen, guys, I got to talk to Dale alone." And Dale is over there holding court with the other two.
Yeah, absolutely.
He says, I was just telling the guys about Stonehenge. It seems the Druids used some kind of sophisticated celestial. Hank interrupts him. Yeah. Dale, I didn't come here to. Oh, no, says Dale. You're going to listen to me for once.
Calendar.
And
that was it. Yeah, celestial
the whole thing.
calendar.
Right. Now, what can I do for you?
You can save my lawn.
Yeah, he's back, and he wants him to get rid of the ants. He's the only one that can help him. Dale is going to milk this for all it's worth. He's like, that's right, I am the only one. Why should I, though? Well, I'll give you $2. And then Dale just laughs, you know? And then Hank is like, well, because you're my friend.
I'm Hank's friend. Tie a ribbon around
me. He does a little dance.
Does a dance, yeah.
And then Hank launches into this heartfelt thing where he says, because I'm coming to you, man to man, offering a genuine apology for choosing my lawn over friendship.
And then he tells him, geez, Hank, I was only holding out for $250.
That's right. Just waiting for $250. So now Dale gets all his crap, and he's going to start spraying for these ants. And he is spraying this big, I think it's pink cloud.
Yeah, it's
of stuff.
Dioxyphilified 6000 with Tecro line. This is a little Dale laugh.
And Hank is a little concerned because he thinks there's going to be bleaching on the yard. And Dale, of course, is like, oh, no. It's totally safe or whatever. Yeah. But I'd put that mask back on if I were you.
And then he taps the tank. I got to pull out the big gun.
That's right. One of my favorites is the radio announcers.
Oh, the DJs in the background. Yeah, you can hear them. Yeah.
And don't forget, it's Quattro de Mayo. That's right, brother.
That's right, brother.
You can tell that it's Stephen Root doing the name, doing the voices, but it's still fantastic. Now's the next day. Hank comes out, and it's even worse.
Gone.
The lawn is just completely gone. Yeah, it's just all dirt at this point.
Yeah, there's no hills or anything.
There's no hills. There's no nothing. Everything is
like
dead. Yeah. And Peggy tries to make him feel better. You know, maybe you can get a new lawn by next year's Cinco de Mayo, which is no way to make Hank feel better, you know.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go through it again. He goes, from now on, it's wood chips and gravel.
And so, now you do not mean that. Yeah.
And then Boomhauer, ashes to ashes, man. Dang old ashes to ashes.
Dang old ashes to ashes.
Yeah. Dale explains that he used as much poison as necessary and not a 55-gallon drum more. That's right.
It makes me wonder how much he actually used.
Yeah. And then they start feeling bad for Hank, you know, because poor Hank, well, serves him right. Damn straight, yeah, it does. But, you know, Khan uses it as a chance to really dig into Hank. He says that, you know, where he's from, they have a thing called karma. You do something bad, and it'll come back and bite you in the ass. The big white stubborn ass.
Yeah.
Right.
And he goes, guys, I can hear you. He's not even standing 20 feet from him.
He's not standing any far away. Yeah,
he's right on.
He can hear everything. Luann has a question for Peggy about the Cinco de Mayo Fest. She says that Buckley wants to bring his 38 to shoot off at the block party.
Which the point of trivia would be that them two are dating again, even though they've broke up. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But Uncle Hank wants nothing more than a 22. And that's a real struggle for Luann. She's trying to figure out how she's going to let Buckley bring that 38. A 38 to shoot in the air for Cinco de Mayo. Peggy is in there making stuff for the big block party.
Yep.
And she realizes that she is completely out of sugar because we find out that Bobby has a big mouthful of sugar and he's just like regurgitating it into the queen.
Yeah. Really weird.
Feeding the queen. Yeah. And then, again, a favorite of mine is when Nancy says, oh, sugar, we're out of sugar, Shug.
Yeah, oh, sugar, we're out of sugar, Shug.
So she tells Peggy that there's some more in the basement. Peggy is like, oh, I'll go down and get it. That's where Peggy finds the model house, the yard, the plans to attack their house, the whole thing. Dale hasn't hidden anything, honestly. Yep. Everything is sitting out.
And then you've got another point of trivia here. So this scene here where she's in the basement, she sees all the ongoing plot to destroy Hank's lawn or whatever. It kind of spoofs the ending of Silence of the Lambs with Buffalo Bill's night vision point of view of Clarice.
Oh, yeah. You know, I didn't even really think about that. Yeah, you're right. It does. It looks a lot like it. So she runs into Dale. Dale is she's like, what are you doing with all these fire ants? And Dale goes, they're silkworms.
Yeah, they're
She's like,
silkworms.
uh-huh. If you keep your mouth shut, I'll make you a business suit. I guess he's talking about out of the silk that the silkworms make, right? He's going to make her a business suit.
Yeah.
And so we go back to Bobby. Bobby is now communicating with the ants, saying that he cannot let them out of the
Safety of the bowl.
well,
yeah.
and it's not even like an actual bowl. It's an old bubblegum machine is what it is. That's what they're in.
Yeah.
And he tells her this is too dangerous. And then he's like, oh, forgive me, my queen, I spoke out of turn. And so he takes the ants outside and he's going to start dumping them back onto the hill.
Back onto the hill, yeah.
But this hill is in the alley.
Yeah.
And Bobby realizes that the ants are not up to any good here as he starts emptying them because they start coming for him.
Yeah, they pile up on him.
Yeah, they start piling up on him. In the meantime, Dale and Hank are out there kind of fighting over this whole lawn thing. Oh,
yeah, you went too far this time.
Yep.
Come back here. And he's telling him, I'm going to kick it harder if you don't come over here. Yeah, I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah, and he's like, you shouldn't have fired me. I'm crazy of I'm capable of any crazy thing. But my yard, Dale, you don't mess with a man's yard. All of this stuff.
Oh, and then he tells him, he goes, I tried planting the ants in your driveway, but they couldn't bite through cement.
He says they're weak like me.
So dumb, yeah.
All right, and then Bobby is like, Dad, and Hank's, not now, Bobby, in the middle of something because he's fighting. Bobby's like, this really can't wait. They turn around, and Bobby is covered, and I mean covered in fire ants, head to toe.
This really can't wait.
Yeah, it is a problem at this point. And so Dale says, don't move a muscle. If you move, they're going to sting you all at once. Take my hand, Bobby. They'll swarm on me. And he's like, what if they don't? He goes, they will. They've been trying to get to me.
Yeah, he said they've been waiting to get a piece of me for 15 years.
That's
Come
right.
and get it, boys. So this is funny. This is
and then you also
he's got
get
a personal vendetta with the ants.
But you get another one as they're climbing on him and going, ouch.
Ouch. Yeah. And then he just falls on the ground.
Yeah. And so Hank thinks Dale is dead because he's been.
You sacrificed your love to save my son. I guess that makes us even.
I guess that makes us even. Yeah. And he goes, oh, what am I talking about? Of course it makes us even. So if you ruin somebody's yard, as long as you get killed by ants for their child, then everything's good.
It's good. Squared away.
You're all squared away.
But isn't it about the principle? Is it really about the yard?
I think it is with Hank.
Yeah, it's about the yard.
I think it's really about the
There
yard.
is no principle. Yeah, it's the yard.
I think if given a choice between Bobby and his yard, Hank would take a beat.
He'd probably take Ladybird.
Yeah.
If you give a chance
that's true,
between
too.
Bobby or the lawn, he'd probably take Ladybird.
Yeah, that's true.
If you gave Hank a choice between anything and Ladybird, I think he would choose Ladybird.
Yeah, he does love Ladybird, and that's funny. We don't see Ladybird in this one at all.
Nope.
So Dale finally wakes up. He asked if anything was inserted into him while he was blacked out. He goes, "You're alive?" He goes, "Answer the question." But now we go to the Cinco de Mayo block festival or block party that's going on outside. Hank is inside feeling sorry for himself. He's just rewinding golf videos and watching the green.
It's on the green. It's on the green.
And then here comes Peggy. She's like, Hank, you need to come join the block party. How about at least one margarita before Bill finishes them all? He goes, it's not margarita, it's margarita.
Yeah.
And then the doorbell rings.
That's where he gets frustrated with old Peggy again.
Yeah. Doorbell rings, and Peggy's like, Hank, come quick. And now we get our ending at the end of It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. Everybody in the community there has brought Hank a little patch of grass, little piece of sod.
So he gets a full yard out of it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird for anything.
It is weird, but
imagine
again,
you wake up, your lawn has been destroyed, and then 2 days later, all your friends in the neighborhood just bring you
grass,
a square foot of grass to cover your yard.
But it's just like the end of It's a Wonderful Life, and even Boomhauer comments on it. He goes, "This day's Hank's, man, everybody's best friend, man, richest man in the world, just like dang old Jimmy Yo." He can't remember Stewart. So that is kind of how it ends. We get Hank with a real heartfelt speech, and he talks about how much he loves everybody. Loves strong. He goes, I like y'all a whole lot.
Yeah.
If any of you weren't here, I'd miss you some.
Especially want to thank Dale Gribble.
Right. Without his paranoid and, hateful nature, I never would have learned what kind of a beating a friendship can take and survive. You're my best friend, Dale. Of course, Bill is like, I thought I was your best friend. And Hank just like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He
Well,
just never says anything.
Yeah. Well,
okay. And then we get our credits.
Yep.
So everything is well on Rainy Street again in Arlen. During the credits, we have Hank out there mowing these few patches of grass that that the neighborhood gave him. And he is whistling Spanish Ladies.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't remember what song that was, and I thought it was the one from Jaws. And I think he does.
The Willie Nelson, Ray Charles?
No.
That's Seven Spanish Angels.
Yeah, this is.
That's what I'm thinking of.
The young lady. It's like a sea shanty.
Oh,
thing.
it's a sea shanty.
Yeah.
Okay, I was talking about the song I was talking about was Seven Spanish Angels.
Yeah, Seven Spanish Angels.
Yeah.
I used to use that one in my art classes. I would play that song and then have kids draw pictures to go with the song.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. They had never heard it, so. But anyway, that's what we get. He is out there just whistling away on his little patch of grass, and then of course by the next episode his lawn will be fine.
Yeah. So this episode was it was written by the voice of Dale, Johnny Hardwick, and
it was
Paul Lieberstein.
Yeah.
So
Toby from The Office. Yeah.
So those are the two writers of this show. And
I didn't realize Dale wrote this one. That's great.
Yeah, he wrote it. And then I went and looked for the director's information, and the director actually has done a few things. He did Rugrats, The Simpsons, Rocko's Modern Life, Cat Dog. Gary McCarver's his name.
Oh, yeah.
He did a little bit with American Dad, Simpsons video game, Simpsons movie. Directed, King of the Hill. Actually directed an episode of The Oblongs too, if you know that one.
Oh, I do remember The Oblongs. Yeah, it was short-lived, but I remember The Oblongs.
I think they still run it in
So
syndication. I
would like to say we are reaching out to Johnny Hardwick. We would love to have you, Johnny. We'd like to talk to you, if at all possible. It would be awesome. It would be a real honor to be able to talk to you. If by some chance somebody knows Johnny Hardwick, or Johnny Hardwick, if you are listening to this, we would love to talk to you. Please
It'd be great.
Contact us.
Contact us.
Or just respond to some of the contacts that we've made. That would be nice too. So I think that's it. The next episode will be season 1, episode 12, which is the last one of the season, correct?
Yep, that'll be it. That'll be the last one. That'll be the first season wrapped up, guys. And I also wanted to thank everybody for all the support and everything on Instagram and everywhere else. I want to shout out Hank Trill again and thank him for coming on. We hit 1K downloads because of y'all, and that's a big milestone for us. We're a short.
It's a goofy little
podcast.
show, yeah.
Not short-lived. Yeah. We've only been around for a little while. We're a young podcast, so
this is episode 12.
Yeah, and we just want to, say thank you to everybody for all the support.
Yeah, man. We
shout out to Argentina.
That's right. Shout out to Argentina. We know you're listening, Hitler. We would love to talk with any of you. If you want to respond to us, what's our socials?
Bois, K-O-T-H, B-W-A-A-A K-O-T-H at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
There you go. You can reach us on any of those. You can find us at roguemedianetwork.com. And I guess until episode 12, Wimatanye.
Wimatanye.
All right, we'll see.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.